Yeah, it's all set up, man. Can you already imagine 1,000 people in here? 10,000. Ecstatic vibrations, totally transcendent. And I've finished setting up the new compressor too. Now the only thing left to do is the name of the club. Will you do the honors, detective?
So what would you suggest as the name?
How about something simple, like the club?
Very new agey, I guess.
Too modern and too ironic. We don't want ironic. We want real. Real and true and beautiful. Like a morning after the rave.
What do you propose? Like a morning after the rave. You know, I do know that feeling. The morning after clubbing in Japan. What did he say? Real, true, and beautiful? Yeah. What do you propose, Andre?
The name. Everything I managed to come up with sounds just wrong.
Interesting.
Andre's overthinking it.
Yes, you should do it, detective. It would be good for the signs.
Oh, huh?
Noid's right. You've helped us so much. It's the right thing to do.
Fair enough. I think I've come up with a name.
You have? Well, what's the name?
That's the name of the game. Disco Elysium.
Like that DeLorean word for the world, you mean? Elysium.
But Disco Elysium? Isn't it wacky? Disco's kind of gone, isn't it?
The past is the future, but the future is dead.
Sure, Egghead.
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful and brave. Like we want it to be.
And short. And memorable.
It's settled then. Everyone welcome to Disco Elysium.
I mean, it feels like a waste to waste the title of the game on these people's nightclub, but...
Andre breaks into frenzied dance-like motion to celebrate the name. Someone turns up the beat. You should go with the flow. Join in on the experience.
Hit it. I mean...
It feels good. It feels right. But what is this? What is this thing that Andre is doing with his limbs?
Dancing? He's dancing. Oh, I guess we can ask. But
I'm dancing.
we should talk about it. We should talk about your so-called dancing.
Yes, my man.
Talk? What is there to talk about if you can express yourself with moves? Audio waves thump against your ribcage.
We
The
don't have...
speaker setup makes everything sound much better. But
Dang.
there's a noticeable lack of something.
Goodbye, officer.
All right, that's probably... Did that finish that task? It did. Okay. So all we really have to do now is try and get into the Feld building.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest.
All right, let's hit the sack. Any crates
Across
up?
the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Man, I wish I could fall asleep that fast.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
All right.
Recorded in you. Forever. On Faraday.
Spinning, tell me, am I dreaming? Spinning in eternity.
On and on it goes. For untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. rising, rising. Above the dark curvature, the great wingspan of sleep, studded with stars.
Behold,
I
there
never
are
know what they're
millions
talking
of
about,
them
to be
down
honest.
there. The first time, the last time, the smoke in her mouth, the plotted flowers, the faces turning, changing.
What is?
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now. You can never forget this shit.
The rain, the snow, I don't want to. It's beautiful. Sure.
Beautiful.
Hope, happiness. Let's find some.
It's stuck on loop, whirling, spitting out words and images.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent.
Harrister?
Picking up litter and old newspapers.
I'll accept it as a
collecting
long
your
form of
little
Harry.
bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards. Meaningless, meaningless keepsakes.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city.
But what if I want to be the agent of nothing? That's right, I am an agent of the world. Sure.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin. I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
For the greater good.
Okay. Some happiness.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth.
Who is this her we're talking about? Yeah, I'll never sleep if we keep on like
Are
this.
you sure? You could be closing the door on a brilliant and special future for yourself.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm very boring, apolitical, and sleepy.
Did you hear that? He's renouncing politics.
That achievement.
He's strictly business now.
Yes, I want to get to stuff. I don't want to go on these rambles.
Just another thoughtless vessel, plowing the grey seas of every day.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
Well, gee, I wonder why.
You can do it. It's nothing. Do it for the city. Go. Do it for the wind.
Dog. Hey man, I don't care if you want to call me boring game. We're trying to help this man out. This dude needs to get better and live a happy life. Whatever is left of it. We already couldn't keep the boat lady on our side, so. Oh, what's good, Kim? Let's hit it. Let's see if we can break into that grate now.
Behind the pipe.
72
the
is pretty
door,
high.
Rusted shut and half sunken in sand.
Please give it to me.
The metal doors are heavy, and the flaking
Nice.
rust hurts your palms. But together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in.
Good work. Shall we?
Let's head on in. Hopefully, this gives us what we need. Oh, This is not what I was expecting to come out into, but okay. You should take out your flashlight. Good job, brain.
As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone out with one punch. The white ceramic gloves wrap around your digits comfortably. Your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions.
This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something. Old file folders in the card documents, silvery with mold. Beam of light, crevice. Well, there's a bed. Stable fabric smell dust. No one slept here in months, maybe years. Stale. Okay, so then maybe she isn't here.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. The plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary?
Seems pretty far.
Outside the window, another day. The beach sand soaks up the drizzling rain, growing darker and darker.
Could the killer have used this as a hideout?
It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages.
I can't see the whirling in rags. The shot didn't come from here.
Indeed. No one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough.
The lieutenant's voice betrays a slight disappointment, which he glosses over by reasserting control.
In fact, I think we're done with this bunker. After you, officer.
Well, I guess there's still an entire building to explore. I don't know why I thought that was a wall. What is this? Boot prints in the sand. One of the souls appears just like the one at the tree. It's getting louder, the buzzing sound.
You feel something, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
A pain, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
I saw them too, footprints with the right sole worn smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
I don't want to ask what do you mean, that makes perfect sense, but okay.
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Okay, Everard knows more than he told us. Maybe we should continue working for him. We know what Joyce knows. about the murder, but I may have other things to discuss with her. How bad do you think things can get?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
What do you think is waiting for us there?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are
What
being
kind of
blasted
black
into
magic?
your head all at once.
Obviously it's not,
but
but-
her words are the only ones you can make out.
Dang, she was all the way ready.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
This is not what I expected you to look like.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious. She doesn't want to hurt you, but she has to. Doesn't wish to hurt you, not according to your ear canals. Wait, no, not even your ear canals. This is going directly into your neural pathways.
I guess cover them just to be safe.
No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an
We're
entirely
about to
new
die.
type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
That sounds like a bad idea. Are you gonna kill me too?
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm
Except
being pretty
we
reasonable.
might die anyway.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
Blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
I saw your equations. It's a ruin frequency.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at.
What kind of the world DO brand? No distortions.
A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it.
Okay, but can you stop it?
Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations.
I honestly don't
Ooh.
care. Can we
a
not
fun
die?
job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
Sounds like she knew someone who used to man one of those stations. But she won't tell you about her. Boy, you're one empathetic police officer to have guessed even that right now.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At
All right.
the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression.
Ma'am,
That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break loose.
How did you get your hands on this thing?
I built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Kim.
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
What's the pale
The
anyway?
Pale? It's the end of the world.
So you're tapping into the sounds of the end of the world. This is all great, but let's talk about the man who's killed. Will I stay like this forever?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
Have you experienced the compressor yourself?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do.
I guess.
Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
And this is all great, but let's talk about the man who was killed.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
Please, can you turn it down so I can ask you something?
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Can I, though?
Turn this.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
Is it my gun?
The gun she's carrying is a two-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this.
Let's not do that yet. How did you know we were coming?
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while.
By hiding bullets under floorboards?
So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
She didn't rat you out, by the way, the washerwoman.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find to my back.
Why hide the bullet, though?
This could have turned out pretty bad for me if you hadn't walked right into 25 bands of ultra-high frequencies.
It was dark in the shack. The waves outside had calmed down. She looked at the loaded gun. Then she cracked the barrel open and took the bullet out. Not today.
Did you shoot Laylee?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you.
I mean, it does.
Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
You're right. Blah blah. What? Yeah, was the first to share her suspicions.
Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Your own boys told us you were on the coast. How did we? I do not remember how we figured it out. Titus told me it took some convincing.
Oh, fuck. Took some convincing my ass. And those guys liked me, I know it. This is what happens to people whom people like.
A dull despair is creeping into her voice.
I probably should have gave it to what's her name since they were
How
friends.
the fuck did the rest of you get by?
Wait, wasn't it you who called me the human can opener? It's not personal. I opened them up. Honestly, I don't know how I do it. I just stumble in here. Can you please explain this to me? Sure.
I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
That did make her forgive them. A little.
I do it by asking questions, and I have some for you.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
Okay. Do you have an alibi for when he was shot? I don't think she did it. You've been running drugs for the union. I've been through it. That's not important. Would you say that Lily was a likable person?
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types.
You don't feel sympathy for mercs? It's hard work.
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do.
Did you feel protective of the Union?
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
She didn't hate it, okay?
I have other questions.
I'm listening.
I don't care about any of these things, really. You have a gun.
And?
Where did you get it?
The gun store.
What gun store?
Trigger Happy Jacks.
Really? Trigger?
What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal.
Can't quite tell what kind of gun it is.
A knocked away 80 front loader. 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
That isn't it.
There's other evidence I want to ask you about.
Yeah, evidence.
You're running drugs for the Union. I've been through your lorry.
So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician.
That really comes as a blow to her.
No, he didn't. I found my own way in.
Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking?
Beneath it, she's relieved Tommy didn't betray her.
You had a financial incentive to kill the merc.
Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the Union.
Oh, Kim.
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun has only been used for self-defense against serious scum.
Then, it's going to be easier to reach the machine now.
But you're threatening us with it.
Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum.
Golly.
There's a sinister note in her voice. Even with the gun and the compressor, she's afraid of you.
Do you have an alibi for when Laylee was shot?
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon me.
I don't remember.
You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time.
No one takes a 15-minute leak.
Look, fuck you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
Okay. Let's take a step back.
Yeah? Where?
More questions before doing anything.
I'll take your advice suggestion. Who killed him if it wasn't you?
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
What happened Sunday night? Tell me your version.
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity.
I don't need to break the machine if she just tells me what's going on.
She's refusing to adopt the demeanor of a cornered animal, a leader with no one to lead. She still wants to retain some control of the situation.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasha comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her.
Wait, did she also seem high to you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
She said you knew something was wrong immediately.
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
How did you manage to come up with a plan so quickly?
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
Interesting.
She looks shaken. She wasn't surprised to be ratted out, but framed.
Interesting. Her idea?
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me.
Did she?
How
No.
quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone.
Did she really do it?
She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys.
How does she know to do all this?
Glacia knew exactly what she was doing. You can't remain calm under pressure otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. That's bad that she'd be so calm.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed.
Do you think she killed him herself?
And potentially bring attention to herself? No. Besides, the shot was made from a distance. Otherwise, we would have heard it downstairs.
But I guess the question is, did she get that set up? The shot set up?
She's right. No one mentioned hearing a shot. The shot didn't come from the roof.
We should have factored this in. Damn it.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried the lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going... fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
If you didn't kill him, why hide?
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent.
Well, dang.
That strange, distant fear is getting close now. It's a fear of yourself.
What do you mean?
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Who?
Through the sudden
no.
sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Who's everyone? How do you know this? We might die.
Everyone in Jamrock. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you? Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both.
No, that was a real question. No, I know I'm supposed to know all this, but I lost my memory recently.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough.
A man in a white suit walks through a garden coaxed from soil that had once been covered in asphalt. A city block closed off from the rest of the city by dark buildings. Rows and rows of poppies, most of which have lost their pink bloom, flank his steps. The man looks around, then up at the sky, sighs. Taking out a knife, he crouches at the end of one flower bed. He scores a seapod, very gently. Milky sap begins to ooze out.
The problem is, if we keep asking questions, I might die. What did you do to this dude anyway?
You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
She's not going to change her mind that easily. She still perceives you as a threat.
May as well try it. We got a pretty high. Like, I don't need to do anything bad to Ruby. I just need to ask questions and get answers.
You hear it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
You okay, Kim?
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
Wow, we're in a bad spot. Fair enough, she did have a gun. What are you doing?
Problem solving.
Ma'am, put the gun down. That's not the solution to your problems. You are...
Oh, yes, it is.
I only have two choices.
You should know the words to say. You've been here yourself. So why is it not coming to you?
Oh, it's pointed at her. I didn't even notice.
Because you've misread the situation from the beginning. And now her finger squeezes the trigger.
Come on. One idea. I need one
A
idea.
smirk crosses her face as she watches you stand there, mute. Then she exhales sharply, shakes her head, and pulls the trigger. You watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair.
We are cops. Everything is our fault if we let it be.
Oh. That's not what I was expecting to happen. Oh. Okay, okay. Okay. Compose yourself. What do we do now?
We clean up. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. That tent there.
What tent? Man. What tent are you talking about, sir? Oh. Well, we got a gun. It's not my gun, but, you know. Well, that was a tragedy.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. You see a rolled up sleeping bag and personal belongings.
Did we get enough out of her?
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats don't get to her.
Okay, let's carry her over here.
The lieutenant nods. There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by empty cigarette packs, books, and half-read magazines. Magazines? You should look through them.
Okay, shine your flashlight on the books and magazines.
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Sift through the magazines.
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine. It's a leather notebook.
Okay, take the
You
notebook.
pocket the worn brown leather journal. She watches by, motionless.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
Okay. Chill out, Kim. We're right here.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
Okay, examine the cover.
It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. This was important to her when it was still hers.
Okay, unwind the strap.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
Okay, study the handwriting.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently.
I still can't believe she shot herself. I was not expecting that.
Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
Flip through the pages.
It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
We could learn a lot from this.
Anything on, yeah.
That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell.
Okay.
What about this M? Could this be La Puta Madre? Here, March 9th and March 15th.
Okay, read it.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? Things played out just as she had feared, except you didn't shoot her. It's in you to do something like this. Kill her. Physically, at least. You could pull the trigger if you had to.
Could I? Because I don't know if I could make him do it. No, I couldn't.
Yes, you could. You'd pull it 1, 2, 3 times and watch her fall.
What do you know about me, Brain?
No, stop. He wouldn't do that.
Let's continue.
Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic.
Okay, so she was working for him.
The entry ends abruptly. The call was a courtesy. He must have held her in high regard to personally tell her he knew about her plan to run drugs for the competition.
Anything about later?
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though. Well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means. These are personal notes. Don't expect to understand all of it.
What kind of logistics?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
Cool.
Professionalism is his coping mechanism.
Hey, you gotta get by somehow in this job. What are the diagrams of?
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Anything personal?
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. Staff issues. Always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal.
Yeah, what's the most recent entry?
The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
I don't think she killed the mercenary.
I don't
It looks like she might have been framed.
This whole thing was a detour, and a fatal one, he thinks. Don't get emotional.
So she died for nothing.
She was in plenty of trouble, even without the murder charge. Still, it's a nasty business.
Am I really an agent?
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
His trust is well placed. You aren't. You can feel it.
So then it just happens to be a coincidence? And who do you think killed the Merc?
Could have been Titus. Then again...
I don't know about
Either
that.
way, we need to keep an eye on him. Somewhere along the way, we might have been fed a lie or two. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should
We
get to
all
it.
get back to the whirling end. Now, well, that ended far more tragically than I was expecting it to. But I guess she did have the bullets in her shack. She was ready to end it all.
The plain red
It
tent.
just so happened that we did not have the skills or went down the wrong path to stop her from ending her life, unfortunately. I'm curious to see what would have happened if that didn't happen, but it's all a tragedy. So I guess we finally made it into the Feld building, found Ruby. It was a wild goose chase. We have the Madre as a player that might be more involved than originally thought. Harry might be involved with him. And I'm thinking that the girl who was with Lily, I can't pronounce her name. It might have more to do with the murder than originally thought. She might be the one who actually set him up. But I guess we'll figure that out when we get back to the whirling end. And that'll be on the next one.